August is a time when many Mainers take a break from their jobs, and that includes our U.S. senators. But while there may be some clam bakes or kayak rides, they also have work to do. Both Senators Susan Collins and Angus King have new responsibilities this year with new committee assignments. 207's Don Carrigan spent time with both senators as their annual August recess began. Tonight, he shows us how Senator Susan Collins is mixing the work of the Appropriations Committee with the familiar pressures of Washington.
Collins, who do we thank? Senator Collins.
On a bright Bangor morning,
Thank you, Senator Collins.
far from the political wrestling ring in Washington, Susan Collins gets a huge welcome at the YMCA.
Thank you.
The senator is popular here. She lives in Bangor and has already helped the Y get $1.5 million in funding for a new child care facility. Now she's working on an even larger grant to help build a whole new Y.
Thank you so much, Chair Murray.
Collins has more clout than ever when it comes to federal money because she is now the top Republican, the vice chair on the Senate Appropriations Committee. That, she says, is helping her bring more dollars to Maine.
I must say, despite the number of years that I've been on the Appropriations Committee, that I underestimated the influence and ability to deliver that the vice chair and the chairman of the committee have, particularly when we're willing to work together, as Senator Patty Murray and I have.
So they reported around the shelter that they're living in.
That includes helping Maine businesses get contracts with the military. This is Compotech in Brewer, which makes special composite panels to protect soldiers, Marines, and their key equipment from enemy attack. The company has won some contracts already and is hoping for more.
These are good jobs. They keep our young people in Maine, and they're contributing to our national security and literally saving lives.
Collins had been aiming for the appropriations leadership spot for several years and says it is helping her to do more for businesses like this one and for national needs.
One of my priorities is biomedical research. So I worked hard to make sure that we had an increase in funding for research for Alzheimer's, for diabetes, and for cancer, to name just three.
But also for local causes in Maine, community and nonprofit projects like the Bangor Y.
I have been able to secure funding for hundreds of projects all over the state of Maine last year and the year before, and I hope to be able to do that this year as well. So far, so good, but we've got a long ways to go.
In part, that's because of inflation and because many Republicans in particular have been calling for cuts in federal spending. Collins agrees inflation is a major problem, but also argues the money going to local projects is not what's causing it.
Why should the taxpayers of the country be helping with a project like a local project in Bangor?
Well, usually there are grant programs that are going to be available nationwide. So someone is going to apply for and get that funding. So taxpayers are subsidizing projects across the country. The question is, who's making the decision on where those grant monies go? But I will tell you, as my staff will attest, we put all of the requests that we receive for federal funding through a vigorous vetting process. I don't want to waste federal dollars, and I don't want to find out that a project that I advocated for was not worth taxpayers providing the funding.
For Senator Collins and her colleagues in Congress, the day-to-day work, like helping the folks back home, is happening amid the continuing fierce political division.
America is deeply divided, and the polarization is as bad as I have seen it. If you're in the middle, as I am, and you're seeking common ground, You tend to get constantly criticized by groups on the far left and the far right, all of whom want 100% compliance with 100% of their views 100% of the time.
Those pressures and demands seem sure to grow as the country heads into another election year and another bitter battle for the White House. So we asked a question about the 2024 ballot.
Do you think it will make a difference if Donald Trump and Joe Biden are out of the picture?
I think it would be helpful if we had fresh leadership at the presidential level. Yes, I do.
Her own political future won't have to be decided until 2026, and Collins insists she hasn't thought yet about whether to run for another term. Working instead, she says, on things like efforts to expand the U.S. Navy to counter China, on appropriations issues, and on meeting with groups and businesses that hope for help from Washington.
It sends me back stronger and reminds me of what people really want from their elected officials. And believe me, they don't want to see more fighting, more ranting and raving. They want to see us getting things done.
The annual August break, she says, is reinforcing that message.